Welcome to GoodWorks, a production of the Nonprofit Alliance of Greater Lowell. My name is James Diamond, and today I'm joined by Steve Severson and Ted Lavash, and we're going to talk about the arts community. Well, today's topic is going to be the arts community in Lowell. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Nonprofit Alliance first. The Nonprofit Alliance has a mission to strengthen the ability of its members to make the community a better place to work and live, and we do that by sharing resources and sharing any information we can to help other nonprofits. So, why is the arts community so important in Lowell? It's important because it brings people downtown and it helps our economy, feeds the restaurants and all the local businesses. And it's been growing for a number of years. And I'm going to ask a few questions of these gentlemen in just a minute, but I also have to give the Brush Gallery a plug because I'm the executive director there. So the Brush was a silk mill originally. That's what the building was used for. But then in the early 80s, the Lowell Historic Preservation Commission converted it into a gallery and studio space. And then right now we have 9 talented artists that rent spaces. And we have a wide range of artists, painting, photography, hand-woven items, jewelry, ceramics. And we give museum-quality exhibitions. We have some community programs. We give classes to challenged adults, and those are run by some of our studio artists. We have given art classes to Megan's House, Girls Inc., and Recreational Adult Resource Association, just for some examples. Right now we have 2 grants that we're offering some activities. One is called Benefits of the Urban Environment. It's funded by the Theodore Edson Parker Foundation, and we have a series of events and activities that bring people out into the environment with plein air painting and bird watching, things like that. And then after the first of the year, Lowell High School is going to be involved with an Arbor Day poster contest. And then another grant that we just got from the Stevens Foundation is to fund diversity in our studio artists. So we're looking for someone that can add more culture and ethnicity to our studio artists. And they'll be offered a discounted rate for their rent. So now to get started. First we're going to talk about the Arts League of Lowell. Steve Severson is the president there at the Arts League of Lowell. And this is probably going to turn into more of a conversation. So we could probably just start with how did your organization start? You were involved at the beginning, weren't you?
Yep, and I was there on the first day. It followed on from the open studios at Middlesex Beat magazine. We used to run the open studios for Middlesex County, and Lowell, of course, was involved with that. And after the end of the open studios one year, 2003, the group of us said, you know, we ought to have an organization in Lowell. So we got together and sort of formed an ad hoc committee and talked about what we needed to do as an organization. And then said, well, I suppose we should have an executive board of some sort, and we need a president. And somebody says, Steve, will you do it? I says, okay, I'll do it for a year. That was 2003. I'm still the president. Can't seem to get away from it. So we incorporated it as a nonprofit in 2004, and been bouncing around the town in different locations. Where LTC here is located now, we had our first gallery.
Yeah, I remember that space.
Mm-hmm. And so we were downstairs where the exhibit is now. Was our gallery space. And then we bounced around. We moved I think it was 7 times in 9 years.
Wow.
So we were just all over town. Where every place we could get a free spot to stay for a while.
I remember
we
the
would
gas
stay.
building. You were in there, right?
And which one?
Where Gallagher and Kavanaugh is
Yep.
now?
Yeah.
We were there for a minute, not
Okay.
very long,
Middle Street.
on Middle Street.
I was one of the. I joined his organization right away. Was one of the founders.
Yeah.
And like Steve said, he volunteered to be president, and he didn't realize it was going to last quite this long.
Yeah.
Nobody else wants that position.
I guess not.
So we had a place on Middle Street, and
we were on Middle Street, and then we came back to this place where LTC is now for a while. Then we went to Merrimack Street, where Lowell Makes is located now.
That's right.
And then, let's see, I guess that was about it. We used the same 2 places a couple of times, so to get to our 6 moves or whatever it was. Then in 2013, we moved into the Gates Block building where we are now, and hope to be able to just stay there for a while. So we're pretty stable now. So from there, from the beginning, 2003, we've had members. They come and go over the course of this time period. We've had approaching 900 members have come and gone. We've always maintained about a group of about 200 active members, between 200 and 250 active at any one time, and I think it's around 200 right now. So we've been in this space since 2013, and we have a section where our members can rent co-op space, so they sort of sublet wall space for their exhibits, and they can sell from that. Then we have our main gallery, excuse me, and our shows run 4 to 6 weeks on average, so we do about 7 shows a year.
You do have a beautiful space.
Yeah, nice.
I'm very proud of it. We had, when the building was rehabbed, it was just an open shell, so we could do exactly what we wanted to do in there for layout, which was very nice to be able to do that, because we literally drew the place on the floor and said, this is what we want.
So that used to be Merrimack Rug.
Yeah, it was Merrimack Rug, and originally it was built by the Gates family. It was originally a leather manufacturing place.
Oh, that's why it's Gates Block.
Gates
Yeah.
Block, yeah. The Gates family, and then it was Entwistle weaving. They made machinery for the looms. I'm not sure exactly. Warping machines, I believe, that they made. So it's had a long history. And then when the whole building was renovated, we moved in. And then there was also the upper 3 floors were converted to studio spaces. So there's 34 artist studios up there.
Do you
as well.
manage those too, or does somebody else manage those?
I take care of the rentals, people looking at the place and making sure the heat's on and things like that, just because I'm there all the time with my store next door to the gallery. So I have my art supply store there, so I'm there all the time
Van
anyway.
Gogh's gear.
Van
You gotta
Gogh's gear,
mention
plugging
that.
Van Gogh's gear. So I'm there all the time, and Nick Saris, who owns the building and did the renovations, I suggested that he use it for art studios, and because he didn't have any real plan for it. He just wanted to save the building from being otherwise destroyed somehow. So I suggested he use it for studios. He agreed and built studios, and he said, well, will you look after it, because I don't know any artists. So, okay, I know some artists. We'll see if we can fill the place up. So that was basically
Yeah, I
how
can't
we
believe
tried
it's
to-
already been 6 years.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle over there, because Dutton Street seems to be this chasm that nobody wants to cross. And
Once you leave downtown.
once we leave downtown, I still consider us downtown, but it's true, Dutton Street has become kind of a barrier. It's really tough to get people to come by. So we've had some issues with traffic. We don't get the same amount of people just walking in that we did when we've been in the other locations on this side of the street.
That's something that we struggle with at the Brush too,
Yeah.
because we're behind the building that Lowell Telecommunications is in, so not everyone knows to keep going through the courtyard.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works out good because people come from the parking lot and walk right by,
Right.
but people that are on Market Street looking for us don't always find us.
Yeah.
It's a little
It's
complicated.
a little complicated.
And you kind of have that same thing at Airlofts.
Well, Airlofts, we started in, if you want to know the beginnings,
Yeah,
it was we opened, it was the first building to be renovated into condos
Under the artist overlay district.
under the Artist Overlay District, and what they wanted to do is attract artists there. The condo for some of the condos, so they had a built-in art gallery. And that's what drew me here. I said, "Gee, you could live in a condo, maybe have a gallery downstairs. That'd be great. Show you stuff." So we opened our gallery in January 2001. And not everybody that lives in Airlofts is an artist, but a good amount are. And it's considered part of the common area. So we have a gallery committee. We opened our gallery, like I said, in January 2001. And we are doing pretty well. It's a nice little gallery.
you've had the exhibits running constantly.
Constantly. We do it by the month. We're a little different. We run every show by a month. And it's available for rent. It's another, we try to appeal to artists that do not have a place normally to exhibit. So if they want to rent our gallery for $150 a month and do their own show, have a one-person show, we can arrange that. And we have resident shows during the year too. And we've helped out the high school, the vocational school. We've had Greek dances in there. We have Irish dances. So we try to do the community thing also.
Right, yeah, that's important. That's a good topic to switch to now is how much all the galleries downtown collaborate.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we have a theme where we try to line up our receptions on the same day, or if it's a photography month or quilts.
Yeah, we do a good job,
Yeah.
I think, with the, we call it Fiber Month. I mean,
Right.
it comes off
Yeah,
from
we
the
did
quilt
good this year.
museum.
We had the quilt
Yeah,
and we had the photography show, right?
yeah, both.
Yeah.
We had a good overlap this
Which
time.
is good because it also includes other galleries downtown, like the Whistler House Museum of Art is usually included with the quilts, and of course the New England Quilt Museum,
Yeah, Gallery Z had quilts this year.
right? And Lowell Telemedia Center
Yeah,
also joins in with their exhibit space. Someone suggested we talk about art is the handmaid of human good, and how does that connect to us? I don't know if they had the same thing in mind
I don't think they
back
did.
then, but
Well, except you've been here longer, but I've been here 20 years now in Lowell. And I saw this community really grow as far as the arts are concerned. There was, you people were here, Bush was here, but there was hardly anything else. Now there's several galleries, museums, that there's really blossomed here in Lowell.
Yeah, 600 or 800 artists
Yeah.
in town.
plus
so.
we don't know, the galleries don't always think of it, but there's also the Merrimack Repertory Theater, which
Yep.
brings a huge crowd downtown too.
Mm-hmm.
That's
bigger.
theater, but
I
it's
think
an
it's a great
important
thing.
art
It's a
form,
good piece of the culture.
definitely. And it's good for the restaurants,
Yeah.
of course.
And the folk festival
Right,
brings
yeah.
a lot of people downtown.
That's something that I got involved with the Folk Festival because we're a partner of the Lowell National Historical Park, so I help with art in the courtyard. I inherited that from Eileen Byrne, who used to be the director at the Brush. And that's a nice group of vendors that come every year, and they spend a lot of money on the tents, but when there's a lot of traffic, they make out all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been really great to watch it grow. I mean, I came here in 2002, and just watching the population of artists in different cultural things, not just painters and photographers, but there's all sorts of artistic medias are represented. There's sculptors and ceramicists and videographers and just every imaginable media you can think of, and it's great. And then we add in the repertory theater, and there's the Lowell Symphony. I didn't even know there was a symphony when I got here.
I think they don't always have a continuous program running.
No,
but
they don't.
It's whenever they get grants and things.
I think that's pretty much the case, but it's great to know they're there.
I wanted to mention the John Greenwald Gallery because you have that small gallery in the back.
Yeah. So John Greenwald was a great supporter of the arts in town. He unfortunately passed away in 2010, but before he was the Sunday editor at the Sun, and he ran an arts column, an arts comment column. I guess it wasn't really criticism necessarily, but comments. And he did so many things to support the group, and was a great supporter of the Arts League of Lowell. So when he passed away, his wife donated all his entire art collection of his work to Arts League of Lowell to basically do what we wanted to with it. So we sell pieces and helps to support the place. And for that, we thought it was appropriate to name our little gallery in the corner.
And that gets a lot of action too.
It gets a lot of action. We rent it to members. You have to be a member to use it, but if you get $200, you get to use the gallery for a month and show, or multiple people can use it, but it's really a good solo show or a duo show.
Right.
Roberta Bloom and I are having a duo show in there as we speak. And it really works well for two people, two or maybe three people to have a show in there. And it's nice to commemorate John and the efforts he had. And I wanted to use the term he coined was for all these artists that have moved to town. He called them cultural immigrants. and I think that's
appropriate.
That's a great line. Yeah.
What about social media? How important is that for the arts community?
Well, social media, of course, we all have a website,
Right.
www.airlofts.com.
Thebrush.org.
artsleagueoflowell.org.
And we communicate quite a bit that way. We get the word out. And also the city has a website, the Cool Calendar.
Right.
We put a lot of our events on the Cool Calendar. So I think it's important.
Yeah, we try our best to use Facebook as much as possible, and of course email blasts, and then we get younger people, interns, to do the Instagram. Try to keep up with all that, but it is important, especially for people to share all that information.
Yeah, and we use it too. Our marketing committee, Marshall Moyer, who's the chair of the committee, spends a lot of time on Facebook. Every time we have a reception, he takes photographs, posts them on Facebook.
Yeah, he's
posts
pretty
announcements,
consistent.
and yeah, he's very good at it.
And your gallery, Airlofts, you usually get involved with Jack Kerouac, don't you?
Yeah, every year we have a couple of artists that just adore Jack Kerouac, and then usually in October we have a Jack Kerouac show. And it's usually by Lady Barbara Gagel leads there.
That's been pretty consistent every year.
Very consistent every year. We have, like I said, we rent it out every month, but a lot of the same artists rent every year for a month. And sometimes it's 2 or 3 people will rent. But Barbara always takes October and always celebrates Kerouac. So then that's a lot of fun. We look forward to that every year.
Right. And then, so Airlofts was considered like a live workspace as it started.
It was a derelict building here in Lowell for years. And the city got Suffolk Construction Special Projects Division to come look at the building and see what they could do with it. So they gutted the whole building with condos in. So it's a living workspace. You can live and work in your space, even though you can live there. That's what we think is great about it. You live in your own studio. It's down my stairs. It's great.
And to interject there,
Yeah.
the Artist Overlay District that was established in 1999 through City Council some way, I don't know the exact mechanics of it, but that was intended to draw artists in
Yeah.
because they could live in their space and sell work out of their space
Right.
without having to have a commercial sales
Exactly.
license and things.
And I know it drew me here. I had retired. I was living in Waltham, and I was looking in Boston, around Fenway and Brookline. Prices are outrageous. So somebody told me about this building that they were doing in Lowell. I come up, cobblestone streets, great old brick architecture. I said, I like it here. You helped me move.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and actually you guys used to work together.
Yeah, we both worked together at Honeywell Corporation. Yeah. I retired first.
I got laid off. It's a little different.
Okay. Yeah, and he helped me move. He said, I kind of like it down here. And
Yeah.
the young lady
I
came
was
down.
impressed.
Yeah.
I really thought.
You've kind of become an ambassador for the air lofts, I think.
I don't know about that.
Maybe an ambassador for downtown.
I do like downtown, I can tell you that. I do like downtown. I've always been an urban guy, so downtown is, you walk to the library, you walk to City Hall, you walk to restaurants. And my car's in the garage for weeks at a time. You know, I have no idea where it is half the time.
I was thinking we probably should mention some of the other places that we missed. Like we mentioned Whistle House, the Merrimack Repertory Theater, New England Quilt Museum. We should mention Western Ave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big place.
They have Loading Dock Gallery, which is a nonprofit, and yeah, Western Ave is huge.
Was it 300 artists
Yeah.
working over there now?
Yeah, I think so, at
something like
least.
that.
So we can't miss them. And then Gallery Z.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a nonprofit, but they're a valuable spot.
And then we just lost one.
Right, Uncharted.
Uncharted. It was a great gallery, and unfortunately, they didn't make it. Jim, we talked about our gallery. How about yourself and Brush? How did all that begin?
Well, for me,
Yeah.
it began when Eileen Byrne decided to
You
retire.
used to have an antique store, didn't you, too, at one time?
Right, I did. Down by Gormley's Breakfast Luncheonette. I had a small gallery called the Niche Gallery,
Nice.
and it was like a narrow space, almost like the size of inside of a bus.
What year was that?
That was 2006,
Okay.
and that lasted for about 2.5 years.
Is that the
And-
same time you were doing your magazine, The View, or is that? a
Yeah, I
different
was
time?
working on View magazine, which was like an art journal, and we covered bands, exhibits. We had poetry from Paul Marion.
Cartoons from Ted.
Oh,
Ted
yeah.
did cartoons, yeah.
That's right.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that kind of drew me into the arts community,
Yeah.
doing that project. And then for a while I had my gallery, and then I ended up getting a job at Whistler House shortly after that. So
That's
I
right,
was
you
kind of juggling everything all at once for a while.
How'd you get the brush?
Brush, there was an opening that came up when Eileen decided to retire, so I applied for it. And that was about 5.5 years ago.
Okay. Wow.
It's great.
And that brings us to today.
I remember your old gallery. That was a cool gallery down
Yeah,
there.
I had a lot of fun. I don't think I made much money. I learned a lot.
What gallery downtown makes a lot of money? That's a problem, but
Right.
you know, we keep
Yeah.
struggling to pay
How to
rent.
draw more people downtown and visit the galleries. It's always been our problem.
it's-
Yeah, I think we kind of share a lot of the same audience.
Yeah.
Like,
we do.
there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah. Well, the receptions, when we have the same receptions on the same day, I think that really works out really well, because it's hard enough to get people to come downtown to go to a reception and opening. So when there's 2 or 3 of them
Yeah,
going on
yeah,
at the same
places
time,
to
I
go.
think people are more incentivized to come down and take a look. So I think that works out pretty well.
Yeah, we usually do that when there's like a quilt weekend.
Yeah.
Try to do
Yeah.
2 or 3 in a row,
Yeah.
or maybe some on each day.
Yeah.
And then the brush always tries to do their receptions from 2 to 4 so that they
Yeah.
can
And we're always
crowd
doing
can
ours.
go over.
Yeah. We
So
always do
artsy
ours
to
4 to
look.
6.
Yeah.
We also tried to start an art walk. So you get a group of people who are interested in the arts and walk them around downtown. I thought that was a great idea.
We did that
We
for
tried
a
it a couple of
times.
times. It was
Yeah.
successful.
Part of the first Thursday's
Yeah.
effort, we did that art walk a couple of times, and I think that it had some success. It just needed, I think it needs consistency,
Yeah.
you know, to really gain legs. To
Need someone to pick up the ball and
manage
run
it.
with it.
So the idea is that they stop at each place for
Yeah.
5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, and you always have something for them, you know, when people needed some food or refreshments or
Yeah.
something. Little incentive for each place.
It's true.
That's true, that always helps.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's all we have today for GoodWorks. So thanks for joining us.